YouTube is often a depressing place that sometimes seems to be filled with an endless amount of drama and disappointment. But there are a select few that are able to truly have an inspirational impact on the community, and Moist Critical is definitely one of those people. Off-brand Doofenshmirtz, Professor Jelly here. For over 15 years, Charles White Jr., known as Critical on YouTube, has been fighting the good fight, going up against abusive creators on the platform, fighting against YouTube itself at times, and all the while going through one of the most transformative self-esteem journeys that's ever been put on the platform. And while you may know some of this, today I want to take a deep dive into the career of the Moist Man himself, Critical. Charlie created the Penguins channel in 2007 when he was 13 years old, which explains the name a lot. Dude was 13, he liked penguins, the S was already taken, so he had to use a Z. And the beginning of the channel was something that you would expect from a 13-year-old in 2007. Mostly consisting of gaming montages, usually around sniping and Gears of War, with Breaking Benjamin blaring in the background. Unfortunately, we don't have most of these early videos due to Charlie having to delete most of them due to the fears of copyright strikes from their new metal soundtracks. But from what we do have, it's not exactly too indicative of the quality that was to come. Instead, it's just those sick, sweet 420 no-scopes. Eventually, around 2010, Charlie had the idea of actually talking and began producing the Fun Tactics series, which, while still a long way away from the Critical that we know today, immediately began to show his legendary vocabulary and his trademark style of humor.
I turn around and turn it into a nice little double here from the other side of the earth, it seems like. God, how's that not a marksman bonus after this headshot? Just how's that not a marksman bonus? How can you do that?
And it was these traits that caused the channel to begin to grow in subscribers, something which skyrocketed when his co-op video was featured by the largest YouTuber on the platform at the time, Ray William Johnson. Ray William Johnson is a guy who's pretty much exclusively talked about in past tense these days, but at the time, this was a huge deal, and it sent a wave of subscribers towards Charlie. With this newfound growth, Charlie began producing some of his classic videos, playing horrible indie games, and starting the Real series. And this is right around whenever my journey with Critical began, somewhere around 2012. And something that new subscribers of his may miss is that whenever I started watching, this was a completely different channel. We didn't know this guy's name, we didn't know this guy's face, we didn't know nothing. And it was fine, because the guy was producing some of the funniest content I had ever seen. To this day, I think that Hard Time is one of the best videos that have ever been put on the platform.
You're wanted for carrying an illegal item, SO20. It's only a matter of time before we catch you. Well, you just eviscerated Vordovask's calf, so I'm pretty sure he's down for the count. That should make that task of catching him easy. His calf muscles have been destroyed, annihilated. Oh, he's better now.
And while it was all just, you know, knee slappers galore for us, the audience, on the other side of the screen, Charlie was kind of going through some stuff. Charlie later said that from 2012 to 2014, while he was just as funny as ever on screen, that he had completely lost all desire to produce videos, and that he only did so out of fear that his fans would hate him. Compounding this lack of motivation, Charlie has also struggled his entire life with OCD symptoms and an extremely low self-esteem, which, in his words, motivated him to act like a mysterious anime protagonist, which hindered his ability to have any meaningful relationships. Thankfully for both us, the audience, and more importantly, Charlie himself, he was later able to break out of this funk in his sophomore year of college when he made a new group of friends, which helped reignite his love for video making. But while things seemed to be getting better on the personal front, what we didn't know was on the financial front, Critical was, critically bad. Also, something that new subscribers to Critical may not understand is that for the longest time, Critical was not monetized on YouTube. Even though that he could have been making bundles of money, he chose not to. And when he did switch over, he donated every single cent that he made to charity. Like, Charlie's Twitter was only originally made to keep up with his charity donations. So in the midst of all these personal problems and like severe depression, Heart of Gold Chuck is donating every one of the thousands of dollars that he's making every month to charity. Man did not make a plug nickel for over 3 years on the platform. And truly, no good deed goes unpunished. Because in the 2015 video, Can't Think of a Title, he stated that he had not been able to get a job in over a year of looking and was financially not doing great. And all of these circumstances had started to push him to considering doing a 50-50 split with YouTube ad revenue, taking half and donating the other half. These are the moments that show why so many people respect Charlie as a YouTuber so much. Being so cautious about making any kind of money off content that, you know, entertains millions of people, while him himself is not able to even get a job. But it actually gets worse. A few months later, in a video called About Me, we learned that things had actually gotten even worse since the last update. And this was, for me, the first time I had actually seen a video where Charlie talked about himself. And this was the introduction. Not only had he not been able to get a job after years of looking, but also he learned that his girlfriend had been cheating on him after she was talking about marriage. If ever there's been like a lemon in the wound type of deal, this was it. It was so heartbreaking to see someone who up until then had presented themselves as seemingly having no emotion. Just this completely detached, flat, monotone voice having a breakdown. But the ending of the video did foreshadow the future of the channel, with Charlie saying that he wished to be remembered as someone who made a positive impact on the community.
Alright, now this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up, but I want anyone watching that might be at a low point, feel beaten down and defeated, like things aren't going to get any better for him. I want you to know that I'm right there with you at that low point, but believe me, things really will get better. As hard as it is, even for me right now, you got to stay positive and just hope for the best and surround yourself with people who care and just do new things, meet new people, and things really will get better. And sometimes even the worst situations can lead to something extremely positive that you might not have achieved if you hadn't gone through that pain.
So at this point, I'd like to take a quick detour away from, crippling depression to 2017. By this point, Charlie had gained over 1 million subscribers after 10 years on the platform. And he did it the hard way. Forget clickbait. Most of Charlie's videos are a masterclass in how to get people to not click on your video. Just look at this recent one. He's still going. That's it. There is absolutely no context in the title or the thumbnail, definitely not in the description, that would give the viewer any kind of context to what this video is actually about. The video has a search engine optimization score of 0. There is literally no way to search for this video on YouTube, and it still has over 3 million views. Search is one of the biggest ways that you receive views on YouTube. Meanwhile, Charlie has got this completely non sequitur of a profile picture, which has no relation to his current content. It's just a screenshot from a wrestling video they did over 5 years ago, which is still better than whatever this is that he had whenever I found him. Charlie has been able to succeed on this platform solely through his hilarious and captivating personality, which is even more impressive when you consider that Charlie does not script his videos in the slightest. Every time you turn on the Moist Critical video, you are literally just wrapping your lips around the faucet of Charlie's consciousness. But I think that the biggest single development that Charlie's had during this YouTube journey was showing himself on camera, which took over 10 years to do, and accordingly showed up in his 10 years on YouTube video. I love the disclaimer at the beginning of the video that's like, all ye who have fear in your hearts, do not enter. And I'm going to tell you, by the time that this video came out, I had been watching this guy for years. And whenever he showed his face, this was not the face that you expected to see from that voice. It was like the Ben Swallow moment when he takes off the mask and it's like handsome Squidward. I don't know what I thought that voice would have looked like, but I mean, I'll just say I wasn't expecting like a mortal man, maybe like a deep sea beast or something like that. This first face cam video was such a turning point for the channel, where Charlie really started to come out of his shell and show his true personality. And within 2 years, we went from literally not knowing what the man looked like to him starring in self-made music videos. So just to give a few examples for you to what's happened within that time, talking directly with the CEO of YouTube about bad policies, becoming what has to be the premier slap fighting commentator, rightfully calling out a YouTuber for being a creep, running real-life Squid Games, somehow getting mainstream media attention for building a ball pit for his dog, and forming Human Media Group, which is a multi-channel network that prides itself on being run by real humans, which is actually something that's a pretty big deal in this industry, believe it or not. And these self-esteem improvements have been met with an explosion of subscribers. As it currently sits, Charlie should actually reach over 10 million subscribers in the next few months, which is literally insane. I can only imagine how he feels. And you can really tell that he's having a lot of fun with this new content that he's been producing. And he's been able to do all this YouTube stuff really without any significant controversy. Like you're always going to have those neckbeards who are like, oh, so you took your past life experiences and learned from them so you became a better human? Sell out, sell out, sell out. I retract mom's Tindy points. But anyways, I really think that the only controversy that's come up during this time has been like some people were like mildly concerned that he may have been spending too much money on Pokemon cards, which I think was just coming more out of a place of concern than like criticism. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of chronicle the career of one of the true OEMs. That's original Moistas for you civilians. So I know that I may be a little bit late to the trend on this one, but in order to congratulate Critical on reaching 10 million subscribers in a few months, I like to throw my wig in the ring and enter the Moistverse as mad scientist Moist Critical. So, here we go. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! This has been Professor Jelly. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure to subscribe. That's about it. See ya.